Hi, are you looking for an evergreen that also helps attract the pollinators? Today we're going to be talking about the purple fire spike. So stay tuned and learn more about it. So what we have here is the purple fire spike. It originates from Central and South America. It can grow as tall as 12 feet. We have some in our yard that might even be taller than 12 feet. It's a really nice, easy plant to keep. It has low maintenance as far as watering, and it's really nice because it can be in shade or sun. Right now, ours is right next to our gazebo, and it has partial shade in part of the area and full sun in the other, and it's doing well all around. We also have a few different plants in our yard, which we're going to show you, that are in, some are in filtering shade, some are in full sun, and they're doing really well. It blooms, I believe, twice a year. It just started blooming. These started blooming a couple weeks ago, and they keep their blooms for several weeks. You'll always see butterflies, bees, hummingbirds on them. It's a really nice focal point for your yard. Also, another nice thing about it, it's very easy to propagate. So if you just bought one plant, it's easy to all of a sudden have a lot of different plants basically for free. And we'll show you how to do that too later on in the video. So these grow in zone 8 to 10. We're in zone 9B, and they do really well. We do have to cut them back sometimes when it gets really cold. During the freeze we had over the winter, some of the leaves started turning black, and we had to cut them all the way down. And as you can see, right now it's April, and they've already grown all the way back, and they look great. A really nice thing about the fire spike is also you don't have to worry what type of soil you use for it. Here in Central Florida, we tend to have a lot of sandy soil unless we add dirt we've gotten or mulch or different compost. But some of the places where we've planted it, we just put it straight into the ground without mulch or compost, and it's done really well. And it does well with just sandy soil all the way to really nice rich soil, and we've seen it within our gardens too, that it does really well in every soil. So what we're going to do now is we're going to take you through our yard and show you a few different places we have them, and you can see that they're in the shady area and some are in partial sun or full sun, and you can just see how tall and how great they look. Here's some, this is along our path. We have a few oak trees and bamboo in this path, so it has a little bit of shade. And as you can see, we have a fire spike. This one, it's kind of neat because it's in the shade, and some of it is really tall and going straight up, but then some of it is kind of reaching, which I kind of like the way it looks curved and straight up. But you'll see this is pretty tall. I'm not 12 feet tall, but it's pretty tall. Here we have a few more. Again, we have our bamboo around us. We're growing some bananas, but we also have the fire spike, which is just so pretty because it's really does attract the bees and butterflies and hummingbirds. You'll see them throughout the day. But these also, they're just blooming, and they just look so pretty. These are actually my favorite ones we have. They This is full sun. The last spot we showed you was partial shade, partial sun. These seem to get full sun, and they are just huge. We ended up planting them originally just for a little shade, a little something for the chickens, so they won't have, so they'll just have a little bit of covering. But it's worked really well, and they're just so I know I just really like them a lot. They're one of my favorite plants, and I started just with a cutting and just put them in little tiny pots, and then we just ended up with all of these. I think I have about 10 on this side right here that are all planted, and we're going to show you how to propagate them and what it looks like once it's done. So I'm going to cut a little bit of this branch and then show you how easy it is to propagate and to create a bunch of different plants with this. I wanted to also show you what it looks like if you were to trim it just as a small bush. This one I ended up trimming about waist high, and now it's probably about 4 feet or so, and it's still growing blooms. So they don't always have to be though 12 or 10 feet tall. If you don't have that space or you don't want them lanky, you can train them to be a bush. And there's even some smaller that just happen to grow in the garden that have the blooms, and they look really nice. Okay, so right now we're back in my garden, and I'm going to show you how easy it is to propagate the fire spike. So I ended up cutting off the branch, and what I'm doing is I'm looking for kind of about 8 inches or so from the bottom, and just going to cut above the leaves. I'm going to just put this down for right now. So you see the bottom leaves, the bottom part has a couple leaves. You're just going to take those off. You can leave the top leaves. And I am going to just fill one of these little things, I forgot what they're called, pots with dirt. We just ended up getting store-bought dirt, but you can use any type of soil you have, whether it's compost, sandy soil, or just anything. And then seriously, you just stick it in. I'm going to put a little bit more dirt. And water it, and it's good to go. You don't need rooting compound, which we have done it in the past, where you could just dab it with the rooting compound and put it in. But these, you'll have a plant rooting in probably about a week if you do it this way. And probably about the same amount with the rooting compound, but this is really easy. We hope that you learned something and get some free plants. So I thought you'd want to see what it looks like after a plant has been propagated. And this one has been in this pot. We did the same method as I just showed you. It's been about 4 weeks. So I wanted to show you about the root base and everything. So that looks pretty good. And this one we could plant in the ground, but I think we're going to wait for it to get a little bit bigger. But it's pretty, I think it's pretty fun and pretty neat that it's able to reroot. That's how I did most of my garden that we're in right now for my flowers. And it's free. Once you have the initial plant, it's pretty much endless with propagation. If you've enjoyed this video, and if you want to learn more about flower and plants and pollinators, we're going to be talking about that on upcoming videos. So please like and subscribe, and thanks for listening today.